Tell me about your teammates. What was it like? I know the pressure you described being there, and how did they treat you? What was their mindset when they went into that Super Bowl?
Yeah, this is a special team. It's one of the most special teams, if not the most special team I've been on, and that's because the players are unselfish. Everyone's about the team, but that starts from our owner, Mr. Lurie, to Coach Peterson, who was here earlier. They build that into the DNA of the team, and then the leaders of the team have to go out there with the work ethic, the words they use, the examples on and off the field to bring guys along to buy into that Philadelphia Eagle mentality. And we were able to do that with an amazing group of guys that, that's the only way this would have happened this year, winning a Super Bowl, because we had, our training room was filled with injured guys that are going to be Hall of Famers, were Pro Bowlers, but guys were able to step up, and the guys that were injured helped those guys to succeed. Where a lot of times you see guys get injured and they're like, man, I'm not helping him. I don't want him to have my spot. But here it was like a guy got injured, then the guy who was injured was helping the guy that took a spot because he genuinely wanted the team to succeed. So that was, that's the big thing. And you step into the huddle, the guys have always been supportive of me. They never doubted. They knew that we had an uphill battle. We had to work through some stuff, but there was never complaining. Offense struggles in a game, defense wouldn't complain. Defense struggled, offense wouldn't complain. That's a test.
No complaints.
That's a test of a champion. You see that's a championship team. Whereas if you see a team where the offense isn't putting up points and they go to the sideline, the defense is yelling at them, or vice versa, it's not going to be, they're going to be a 500-win team. They're not going to do it because that's not how you win in the fourth quarter. That's not how you win the playoffs. You have to be brothers. You have to be family. But that's created through weight room, locker room, all those times. So
if you had to describe the culture of the Eagles that you think makes them successful, what is that culture? What are the core beliefs?
The core beliefs is genuinely family. Now that is preached in probably every locker room in the world is family. But I don't think that it's acted upon genuinely with your whole heart. And I think that's the difference is Coach Peterson always says, are you only interested or are you invested? I might be changing the words up, but he's basically saying are you all in or are you just here because you're interested in being in the NFL? Are you all in to give everything you have to sacrifice for this team, to give a little bit extra work after practice, to give a little bit extra work in the film room, during practice, give everything you have. When you get off the field and go home, recover, are you invested wholeheartedly or are you just enjoying being in the NFL?
And tell us, it's not a surprise or hidden piece that now, the gentleman who's been placed is going to get well.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be this dilemma with two unbelievably great quarterbacks, and you've dealt with that your whole freaking life.
Yeah.
How do you think about that going forward now? Because I know it's got to be uncomfortable, and yet, you're a guy that slices through and goes for the truth. How are you dealing with that? What's your mindset about that going forward?
Yeah, I think it's just all a matter of perspective. A lot of gratefulness. I'm grateful to be a part of the Eagles. I'm grateful for Carson. It was tough what happened to Carson this year. He had an MVP caliber season, and then he got injured. I've been there. I got injured my first go around here, week 8 in Houston. That was my last game before I joined the team this last year. And so I know what it's like to go through that. So I'm very aware of that. So when I took over, I made sure, we always, Carson's a part of everything, and he wanted to be a part of everything. But then now as we go forward, I know my spot is, the backup quarterback to Carson. Right now, I'm running everything, but I genuinely want him to be healthy. He's an amazing quarterback. He's an amazing person. He does so much great stuff in the community with his AO1 foundation. And it's really cool to be in a QB room, him, me, and Nate Sudfeld. It's just a great room of guys that love each other, that want to push each other. We're very different, I would say, personality-wise, but we all have very similar core beliefs. And I think when you hit the field, we're not trying to we're all competing, but we're not trying to cut each other's legs out. We genuinely get excited when the other one succeeds. But that's all a matter of perspective. And that's what
perspective.
I think it's
stressful times.
Honestly, I think it's from going through what I've gone through in life. Build muscle.
Mental muscle, psychological muscle.
No, for sure. We're not talking muscle. I don't have a lot of muscle. So I know what you're saying. It's definitely mental. I got a big head, so there's a lot of stuff up here. But it's just going through that. And it's instead of an entitled attitude, it's a grateful attitude. It's a very blessed, humble. And it's something that I really believe that you have to be brought to your knees. You have to go through tough times and go through them and endure them and feel them in your heart, because we all know that's not fun. Those stressful, anxious times, we've all experienced them. But when you get through them, you sort of take a deep breath and say, oh, thank you, God. But you learn a lot through those things. So now I'm in a situation now, I'm going on year 7 in the NFL. It's very unique. I'll probably be the first quarterback in the history of the game to go from being a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, to sitting on the bench. But at the same time, I think it's a great opportunity to impact the locker room, to share and talk about it. And then, maybe someday I have an opportunity to be a starter. But at the end of the day, I'm very grateful for the opportunity I have right now. And it goes back to just staying in the moment. I don't know what the future holds. I'm not going to worry about that, but I'm going to do everything I can right now to be the best person I can be, to be a father, to be a husband, be a teammate. So
I got to tell you, I meet a lot of people, and I'm very privileged to meet extraordinary human beings, but the way you've handled the situation is so elegant, it's so beautiful, it's a reflection of your faith in such a beautiful way. I share your faith, I don't tell people what to believe, but it's so beautiful to see you practicing it in a world where people can be so mean and socially so harsh, people don't even know. And here you are in a situation most people would say, this is unfair or unjust, and your mindset is, I'm grateful, and you can feel in him it's totally sincere. This man lives in a beautiful state. He is living everything we've been talking about. Two more questions if I may. Thanks for being in such a crazy hour. You've been so wonderful.
Absolutely.
Tell me about your new book that's coming out, for starters.
Yeah. We have a new book coming out. It was a crazy journey. Even deciding to do a book in such a short amount of time. My wife and I prayed about it, and the reason we decided to do it is there's a story there that I think can relate to anyone, because I'm very transparent, we're very honest. Big reason we chose to do it is we're giving away all the proceeds to local charities, churches, organizations nationwide. So that was the big reason we did it. So that's a really fun process to giving, but it's named Believe It, My Journey Through Success, Failure, and Overcoming the Odds. And I'll tell you what, just deciding on a title of a book is hard. But it was fun. It's my journey, basically entering the NFL, my years through the NFL. A lot of it's, this season, the playoffs, getting up to the Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl, what you deal with. And then there's flashbacks to earlier life, the people that have been there. It's through the journeys. A lot of it's talking about, the ups, the downs, but I was very honest, very transparent. What did you get from writing the book? I learned a lot about it. It's tough to put stuff on paper that you're people might read this, and so that's tough. I'm not a perfect person by any means, so I'm dang, there's a lot of stuff out here. We all try to hide. I'm putting out there for everyone to read. But I learned a lot about myself. It was really fun to go through with my wife. We both edited everything. We worked with the author, Josh Cooley, worked with Tyndale Publishing. They were a great team because it happens so fast. I mean, it's a 3-month process. Usually it takes about 9 to 12 months to do it. But I learned a lot about myself. It was like journaling. I mean, you're having to share